Appreciate it. How are you? Steve? Well, yeah, you're gonna make it. Listen, Scott liked it when we had that bridge. Some of my kids at school. No, I want to have things. Yes. And I don't. Yeah. That's a big. First, we got size. Restricted and make it home. Squares and they got. You know. We.
I will call the meeting to order. If you would call the roll, please, Miss Tammy.
Mr. Christensen,
Here.
Mr. Eckler,
Here.
Ms. Bennett. Here. Mr. Watkins,
Here.
Ms. Baca. Here. Mr. James.
Here.
Mr. Davis, not in attendance.
Okay, thank you all for attending tonight. If you would join us for the pledge and the salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the freedom symbol of our friendships among the United cultures. Okay, I assume we all had a chance to go through the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make the motion.
Approve the minute.
I second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Okay. New business. Public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-10, a resolution providing for a summary subdivision plat at no site address submitted by Steve and Linda Davis. I will entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
Motion do so.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Which into a roll.
Yeah, we talked. No, we didn't talk.
I think so. I think that was my
Yeah.
plane crash one, so I don't believe I was here.
So we're gonna vote?
But I think for this one, you can do roll call,
Yeah.
or sorry, you can just do the vote, just when we make a decision, it has to be roll call.
Yeah,
Okay.
just on the decision.
Yes.
So we're not gonna vote to go into.
Into
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to do the individual yeses. You can just do a motion in a second to go into public hearing.
And then just say all those in favor.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all those in favor to go into public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, so we're in public hearing. And we're gonna let anyone who wants to speak for or against this resolution but Ms. McClellan is going to go first.
Awesome. Miss Tammy, you don't have to put this in the minutes, but I apologize. I got Invisalign, so my S's get a little bit snaky. So if I suddenly have a list, that's why. So perfect. So item A is a summary subdivision. On this replat, what is highlighted right now is what it currently looks like in its current property lines. Ms. Chris. So here is what they are requesting to do. You see they're splitting it up. Two small lots on the top, one big lot here, and then a fourth lot here. So you got your 1, 2, 3, 4 lots. Most everything is what we normally see for subdivisions is fine. The only part that needs to be highlighted as a problem is lot 4 in landlocked. They did designate this as a private easement. They have accepted private easements in the past for subdivisions. That is up to planning and zoning and city council. It's not something we can approve. But we always recommend, obviously have some access to a developed road for safety purposes. So this would be one that it'd be best for the resolution in your motion to dictate if you would have that be paved, if they change it to access the road, or how you would like it to do so in the future. If they go to build, we don't have an Eric Segovia thing where it has to come back to decide if it's gonna be paved or not. Next one is Chris. Same thing was just our, if they sell off lot 4, they will deed access to private road easement to the new owners. So they have like ingress, egress to a public roadway. Ms. Chris, next one. And then lastly, we sent out 14 letters to property owners. We received 0 for or 0 against, and we sent 7 certified letters to public utilities. We received 2 for, 0 against. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to stand for. Mr. Davis couldn't be here. He told us to have Scott answer some questions and or call him, but since Scott's gone, I will do my best to answer any questions with Miss Laura.
Okay, explain to me again how they're gonna not landlock lot 4.
Perfect. Just Chris, we go back to the survey one. That one? Yeah, the next
Okay.
one. This one. So right here, they are gonna make that a private ingress easement. It'll still remain part of lot 1, but their intention is to make that a permanent easement. So lot 4 will always have that access. So technically, it's not landlocked, but technically it also is.
So it's gonna belong to lot 1, but it's gonna be just an easement for lot 4.
Yeah, so it'll have to, how it's built, it is part of lot 1, so it'll be part of probably lot 1's deed that they can access it off of for lot 4.
They don't want to make it part of lot 4?
This is what they gave. Our recommendation is always, we prefer it to all have access to public right of ways. It just makes it easier. But they wanted to see if this would be something you guys would approve.
Okay.
Kelly, would they entertain the going in there and splitting that 60-foot easement, giving 30 foot to the lot 4, and then them keeping it 30 foot for lot 1? Just because we all know that if somebody doesn't agree upon giving somebody an easement, or if lot 4 was to be sold, then you still have it landlocked because it's up to lot 1 to give the easement. Is that correct?
No, so if they do a permanent easement, because it's between 2 civil, it is in lot 1 that they have to keep that easement. However, that becomes civil and they have to go to court if they try to deny that easement. And that has happened before where it's the paperwork, but it still takes 6 months of court to force to do it. One of the things that people have done in the past is what Ms. Warren was talking about, would be splitting that easement, so each have 30 feet of access. If that is something that you would like to put as your recommendation, then that's something we can bring to council as well.
And he uses that to get around to the backside of his property, doesn't he? Where he's wanting that easement?
Yeah, for just the easement, it looks like the only reason the easement would be there would be to access lot 4. I don't see any other.
I think most
Correct,
of
moving
it goes right there beside the shop that's on,
Yeah, down Ithaca.
the shop that's on Ithaca.
And then he has that public right of way down Ithaca as well.
But we have a couple of options, correct? I mean, we could say in our recommendation to, that if upon the sale of lot 4, that would have to be done Or that would have to be paved or concrete. We could do it a multitude of ways,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir. And so whatever your guys' recommendation, you can choose both. And let the landowner
Protect
decide.
that person in lot 4, as long as we've got it in there in some way that they get
Yes,
access to their half. Upon the sale, that's the.
Well, and like she said, if it's a dedicated easement, then it becomes.
So at this point right now, are we saying that Linda and Steve Davis are wanting to contain and still keep control of lot 1, therefore they're not really concerned about lot 1 at this point? But at some time, if they decide to sell off lot 1, then somebody else is gonna be concerned about lot
yes.
1 and how to
correct.
get in and out of it.
Yeah, so that is what it, how it sounds is they want to continue with lot 1. And lot 1 does have access to public right of ways on 2 different spots. Lot 4 is the only one that has to be reliant 100% on that easement.
Lot 1 only has access right now off of its correct?
No, so this actually right here comes straight to South Kilgore and that's part of lot 1. So this right here, next lot 1 is South Kilgore Avenue as well.
But not if we take lots 2 and 3, then it will be landlocked. Unless if you don't have that easement right there,
No,
the
so that-
only way to get in there is through Ithaca.
No, so this easement's actually attached to lot 1. So it's part of lot 1's property. So lot 1 this is part of lot 1.
If they want, okay, they want to keep lot 1 all the way to the highway then,
Yes,
to Kilgore.
yeah, they want to keep it kind of in a little.
Yeah.
Right there.
I don't like that idea personally. I think it needs to be an easement to lot 4. I think it needs to be a road to lot 4.
'Cause there's no roads going to
Because there's-
Kilgore.
Yeah, that they're just wanting to say that they're just doing that so they can have an easement from there to their property. But lot 4 still does not, except
Yes,
that. So I think it needs to be a private road or a road. We had the problem, if you don't have a road, you can't get an address.
yes.
So this is just a private access. We need a road with a name so he can have an address.
So are you guys recommending it be a public right
It
away?
needs to be a public road because nobody can get an address for lot
Right.
4.
That might be a concern.
Because that was our problems with the other ones.
Yeah. So I have a question for Chief on that. If we make it a public road, you don't have, you don't have a way, turn around, that kind of thing.
Correct.
So it's a dead end stop for your truck. And if they build up there in the corner of lot 1, well, I guess you can still come down the one we didn't close on 15th, but
It will limit our access.
It would
and
definitely limit
Increase
your-
our efficiency for sure.
so why was there no objection from you guys on this deal? Curious.
As I've stated before, if the community wants to limit our access and make it less efficient, that's up to them. And up to y'all as the community.
Okay, I just don't think it's been thought out well enough because we have to have an address for lot 4 and this will not provide an address for lot 4. And I think it cannot, from what we've heard in previous sessions, I think it needs to be a public road.
We would also run into a problem if he ever sells lot 1, that the lots on either side of it on Kilgore. I mean, if they have a garage off of that access, they would lose that access if they didn't grant that easement again. So it's more than just lot 4.
Right.
Right.
It's a bigger issue than that, really, to me.
Yeah, that's how are they gonna do that?
So do we have the option to send it back for them, tell them we prefer that there be a public road there and reassess it?
You can send back with your request, which sounds like Mr. Warren said, split it so it's 30 and 30 or make it a public road. So you can move it forward to council with those 2 recommendations, or you can choose to table it to the next meeting. Where the property owners can come and say which one they prefer, if they prefer those choices.
I don't look to table, I don't want to table anything. If they were really concerned, they would be at this meeting right now today. So I want to go ahead, in my opinion, and say, no, you can't do that. I just say, no, come back.
Okay.
We don't want, it needs to be a public road. Now, we'll discuss that when you want to make it a public road. But I'm not gonna send it on to the council with not knowing, and I'm gonna tell you, if this was your property, would you not be here to try to talk about it? I would.
No, those are our special use permits.
Any other questions, comments? Concerns?
Is there anybody else that wants to talk about it besides me?
No. No. I think
We covered it.
At some point, things have got to be done, but just like.
it turns into a mess, just like
Yes.
we've had many a times.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So move.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to go out of public hearing. All those for
Yes.
and all those against. Okay, so we're back in regular hearing.
Take no action.
I move that we deny it.
I second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion to deny resolution PC number 2024-2025-10. Have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Baca,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
To deny it.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes,
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. Christensen.
Yes. Okay.
Just
Next,
for future, just to make sure I'm clear, if we had just not made a motion, it would have just died in. No motion, it would have died in, so we just.
I'm not glad I've never,
I have never had it, I've never been here where we hadn't had a motion.
yeah,
Okay, but by procedure, you just
It
move on to the
died.
next thing.
the
It
dying committee.
it died.
I understand.
Yeah. But anyway, that's fine.
Okay,
Same accomplished goal.
item B, public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-11. Resolution providing for a special use permit at the address of 1729 South Avenue B for the purpose of selling packaged liquor submitted by the 7-Eleven Incorporated. I will entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, we're in public hearing. Quick question. Is there anyone here to speak against or for those two liquor license? Okay, because I was hoping if no one was, then maybe we can.
and then the
Two of them,
yes, the two people on Zoom are, as I
Oh, okay.
believe, here for, on their behalf.
okay, very good.
Alright.
Miss McLeod.
Awesome. So this property right here is currently a Stripes Convenience Center. They are changing ownership to 7-Eleven. They have a special use permit right now to sell alcohol, the same permit, because they're changing owners, they have to get a new special use permit for the name change. They do not expect any business operations to change. They'll still be a convenience store that sells packaged liquor. We sent out the certified letters. We received 2 for it from property owners and then 2 for it from public utilities. There wasn't a lot for this one, so if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. And of course, we have people on Zoom too.
Any questions here?
I don't think
Hmm.
there's.
No, I have no question.
So I guess we'll have to go out of public hearing.
Make a motion. Okay, a lot of public hearing.
I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those approved, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution PC number 2024-2025-11.
Make a motion that we approve it.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Christensen,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes,
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Ms. Baca,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yes.
Okay, so that is approved. Let's go ahead and I'll entertain a motion for PC number 2024-2025-12. It's the same thing. To approve, it's just a different location. So
And
to
we go
approve or
into-
deny,
so we're gonna
I don't think we need to.
go into
hearing.
public hearing. Okay. I move that we approve.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion to approve in a second. Call the roll, please.
Sparta,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Mr. Reckler.
Yeah.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Christensen,
Yes,
Ms. Bennett.
Yes,
okay,
Apologies to those two gentlemen who had to wait for that to happen, but
that will all be taken care of
The 28th, I believe, is our next.
28th of May. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to D, public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-13. A resolution providing for a variance at 900 West 17th Street to allow for a fence that will not meet regulations in R1 zone, submitted by Nancy Zagar. I will entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
so moved.
Second.
I have a motion in a second to go into public hearing. All those opposed, all those in favor?
yes.
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 Those opposed. All right, we're in public hearing. So anyone who wants to speak for or against this can after speaks.
For my part, this is a property, they're putting a front yard fence, up front because they have some stray dogs coming up onto the property. They're working with animal control to try to get the dogs off, but in the meantime, they'd like a fence up, protect family, pets and family. This one is, caught up a little bit by the same stuff that Mr. Dodge was caught up. Since they're a corner of the property, they have to do the 25-foot side triangle. And then we connect it, and they can't build in that, so they can see across. That's part of what the variance is for, since the house is moved forward, they want to see if there's a chance that they could just keep it at 4 feet. I believe the property owners are here to answer any questions. Next page, or next one. Pretty much what I just covered, it'd be a 4-foot fence which meets the height. They're hoping to do wooden, but the clear side triangles is sometimes a little hard on these properties. Here's the next one. We sent out 13 letters to property owners, 2 were for the proposal, 7 people to the public utilities, 1 was for, 1 was against. Before, which one was against? Oh, this is the one, water was against it, but they didn't give a reason as to why.
Okay, go back to the map because I'm a visual person.
Can we go back to the one right before this? There.
No, the other
one's
one
the other
with
one.
the red
This
line.
one.
Oh,
I've got
This one.
Okay. They want to keep it at 4 feet. I see the problem, the issue with the corner and not seeing people coming around. When we have that, or are we supposed to move the fence back? Are we supposed to drop it down to 3 foot? What is the,
So the clear side triangle doesn't allow any construction within it.
it can't allow any.
Yeah, within that triangle, so the variance would be to allow it there. I know in the
Okay,
past.
show me the triangle. I don't see the triangle.
Yeah, so the triangle starts at the very corner where it's 2 intersections are. And it's 25 feet that way, 25 feet that way, and then you connect it, so it'll probably cut off that corner right there.
And just so, I mean, we just had this last month with Dodge and we told him he had to back up to have that 25-foot
right.
triangle of clearance, so. To be consistent.
Yeah, see.
To be consistent, I think we've got to have that. I mean, I'm fine with them having the fence in the front yard. But that angle needs to be across there at the appropriate place to have the 25-foot clearance.
I agree. That one, did he have one, was it?
I drew it on there myself.
The triangle, yeah. I didn't get the triangle part. I agree, but go ahead.
If it's chain link and you can see through it, can I have the corner?
Not my opinion.
I think we have to.
Fences.
I don't know, because then inside the yard, you could grow a plant, a shrub, a hedge, and then you can't see through it. And then we still have a hazard to people driving on those streets and causing an accident, which you don't want an accident in your front yard either, or in, right there. Because I can see that happening. You might not build a hedge, but the next person might. And then what happens when we have accidents?
Or the next person may put those slats in the chain link that blocks the view. That's the thing where you may not intend to do it. You're probably not gonna own that for the next 200 years. Our job's to make sure it.
It stays safe for the
Stays safe.
public. But I understand your concern with the dogs.
Yeah, I'm all for you building a fence for the reason you need it. I'm all for that. But I just think cut across that corner where it's required for this line of sight.
Yeah.
Okay. I just, it's a very small front yard, so I think it would probably be like that.
Well, if you want to look at Mike's got a better
Well,
angle.
I don't think it'd be quite that much.
The 25.
The 25 feet, if I'm correct, Kelly, is from the edge of the road, correct?
Yeah, it's right.
So we're not
where-
talking about from your property line. We're talking from the road.
Which
You
is.
know, you
which
can
it
look
would-
at Mike's
It would be,
piece of
Yeah, so it'll
paper.
be
it would
24
be
feet.
back like she's saying.
Yeah,
So here's,
This I think this was 25 feet here.
I think they just mark for your,
Yeah.
yeah, it's maybe 25 feet from here, here, and then we can map it, which I'm not.
Gotcha.
from my estimation, you would be talking about cutting.
Huh.
So you only have to be 25 feet from the curb.
Gotcha, so from
Then
here
on
to
this
here,
one.
it's like 5 feet.
Which is
Yeah,
gonna,
so 25 feet from
From this
here, like from right where the, here, and to here. So from that point right there where the
Yeah.
intersection is, it's 25 feet that way, 25 feet this way, and then you can do it.
Gotcha, so my fence could go like that.
yes.
Yes, depending on where your 25 feet is, yeah.
Right, it would, 25 feet would probably be down here.
I don't think so.
I don't think, I
No,
don't think so.
I don't think it'd be quite that far.
He's got it. We see. what he
Yeah,
got.
there.
I don't think it'd be quite that far. It might be a little more than what I've got drawn, but it won't be much more.
Here's a street.
Here's
picture
your
of
street
the-
picture of what it is.
Gotcha. So,
And the other option, just as a suggestion,
gonna
would
be
be
back-
just put your fence
Just nearly
straight
to
on
the
the right side of your
edge of the
sidewalk.
house, because it is a small yard.
Oh, it's gonna be close to the edge of the house. I think Mike's must be off
Yeah,
then.
you can just-
Sorry, Mike.
Well, and it may be larger than what I was estimating.
But that gives you a lot on the other side of the sidewalk for the dogs to run and play.
Well,
I don't want to
they don't want
go.
that.
Well, he had
Your dog.
her dogs.
Backyards.
Oh, you had your dogs in the backyard.
Right.
Yeah,
She's trying to keep this straight.
yeah.
He's just trying to keep the straight out of the front yard. I was thinking your dogs were in the front yard
No,
also.
No,
No.
my dog's not free. Spayed, neutered, cat spayed,
Backyard.
neutered, continued backyard. So, so I've spent a lot of money spaying and neutering feral cats. And it started out where, oh, there's just a few and they're the same ones. So I was trapping them, neutering them, releasing them. 16 cats later. The whole neighborhood is spayed and neutered now as far as the cats. But because I'm now taking care of the recovering cats, I have to make sure there's food and water out for them so they can heal from their surgeries. That's why the dogs are being attracted to my front porch. And they're wanting to kill the cats. I got video footage of them trying, my neighbor's cats have been killed. One of my cats have been killed. So that's what I'm trying. So they said, all right, put up a temporary fence. So I got a quote for a cedar fence, 4 foot, which is what I originally wanted. And it was like $3,500. So then I was looking at, okay, temporary fences, what can I do? They're only $5,000 because like the ones that you tamp into the ground, by the time you buy it, it's $5,000. So I just had a temporary fence put up to save, to save my cat, save me. It's been really, really stressful. I can't even emphasize how stressful it's been with the dogs. They're coming in packs. It's not like there's a chihuahua coming by. There's like a shepherd, 2 pit bulls, a pit bull with 2, other labs. It's just, they're very aggressive. So I did put up a temporary 4-foot chain link fence now. But it is temporary, but I will have it, 25 feet if that's what it takes.
It's your cat yard. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's not your dog yard. It's your cat yard. Her front yard's a cat yard.
It's not even her cat.
But
She's
you're
just,
thinking
she's just helping the
cat
community.
yard.
My car is, just the tomcats fighting all the time. My house being peed on. So actually by me neutering all the males in the neighborhood, no one's peeing anywhere anymore. It's been fantastic, actually. Some of the tomcats that used to just come around and pee on my tires or they're like wanting to be pet now. I actually put a collar on one of them. So they, because I had the city's doing the roundup. So I didn't want the cats with the tip ears,
Mhm.
Anyway, so it's just been very stressful with the dog, like, you can't even imagine how stressful it's been, especially watching on video or seeing them all.
Yeah.
Since they put the temporary fencing up, it's been like heaven sitting in the front. Being out in the front, not having like being bum rushed by packs of dogs. So how long do I have to fix the fencing now? Cause I have to get back to work tomorrow, so how long do I have to fix the temporary fencing into that corner?
That, you'd have to, I don't know the answer to that, because it technically shouldn't have been put up until it was approved.
And we approved the temporary fencing while they're waiting for this, but it's about 14 days.
14
is the period we give people to fix.
Are those posts you put up, are they concreted in, or are they just driven into the dirt?
They're concrete, but I mean, it's temporary because I mean, if we had our fencing redone in the backyard, I watched them block with concrete, so like, it's cheaper than temporary fencing.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper than going and getting the stuff you drive in.
Right,
It was cheaper to have someone.
And then the
concrete
green
some
T-posts and
With
all
the chain link, it was like,
Yeah, no.
like a couple of $1,000.
So
Yeah, well, I hate to do it that way, but I think we have to stick to line of sight, and that's just my opinion, so.
Mhm. Yeah, and the consistency, and treat everybody
We
equally.
already just voted on the same thing last month.
So it's consistent, so every single person on a corner lot in Portales has been approved with a 4-foot chain link fencing, because I was looking, you know.
Well, one of the things, and we were just talking about this prior to the meeting, one of the things you gotta realize, this panel changes from time to time. So decisions by this panel change from time to time.
And there are
that's part of the
people,
facts behind it too.
and there are
Right.
people that will just go ahead and put the fence up without
Yeah.
doing anything.
There was a time that if somebody put it up without it being caught, if I'm correct, Kelly, then there was nothing the city could do about it. That's no longer the case. Now the city has the ordinance in place that if somebody puts one in illegally, it has to go down. But that's part of the problem with the old,
Right,
and we have it all over town. You're correct.
right. That's why I was like, well, we don't have a problem with that, because everybody has
Yeah, it's
chain
a
link,
thing.
which is why I was like, let's just do that temporarily. So, okay. All right.
You just need to pull the corner.
Yeah, well, it's I think it's gonna be more than that. It's gonna be only
Maybe a couple of posts on each side.
30 feet from the fence, so it's gonna be like.
Up from the street to the house, most houses, it's not set up.
They're way close. Way
The
close.
corner of the house is almost, like she said.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go out of public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're back in regular session. I will entertain a motion to approve or deny PC number 2024-2025-13 for a variance at 900 West 17th Street.
I move we deny.
I have a motion to deny and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Christensen,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Reckler,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Ms. Walker.
Yes.
Okay. The next item is public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-14.
Thank you for coming.
A resolution providing for a vacation of right of way of 70 feet of a platted but undeveloped road known as North Avenue R, submitted by Victor Lopez. I'll entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go into public hearing. All those for, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, okay, so we're back in public hearing, Ms. McClellan.
Okay, so this one's very similar to what we did with Mr. Segovia. So these two properties have an undeveloped road right here. So for them to build that developed part of the road. The developed road stops right here. The property looks like it's supposed to go to next page. It's a little bit better. So what they're requesting is this back portion right there, to vacate that little portion. And then to the other line right here, they'll only be responsible for the development and the curb gutter for half their property, or for half the road This side, so you get the development, and they're not responsible for the development of this half of the road. And the gentleman is here if you have any questions, if you have any, next one actually. So yes, one went out, we didn't have anyone against this proposal, but we didn't really hear a lot about it, just 1 for and 1 for public utilities. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, and then the gentleman who submitted it is also here.
Okay, you know, the only thing, you know, you kind of notice right away is lot 15 becomes,
We'll go back to the one that shows the lots.
lot 15 becomes landlocked if we vacate that.
That's my only concern. And there's a couple of ways we could solve that. We can,
We go back one more,
no, that's the one we want.
or I'll just show you on this other one real quick. So the good thing about lot 15 is this is Beach Street right here. It's undeveloped, but they actually
Right.
have a public right of way.
It's undeveloped.
So if you go to your next one, so that one doesn't technically landlock it. Because they still have access to a public right of way, which is an undeveloped public right of way.
Right.
That's a drainage.
Yeah, it's basically a drainage.
But it is for us, the council planning and zoning, because it is.
And if
what
we
they
do
want
like we
to.
did over on the last one, if we just come up far enough that there's still access to that. You know, it's kind of what we did with the last one, we just did,
Yeah,
so that every lot has access.
because then, you know, it comes back to addressing, then do you address it off beach?
If,
Lot 15, you'd have to.
yeah, if they approve this way,
Which isn't,
they would have to develop Beach Street for lot 15. But I don't believe, is there any, we go back to the other one, Chris? Yes. I'll make sure I have that, or if it touches North Avenue, is that a Q? North Avenue Q as well. Report one more time. Okay.
And this would.
In my opinion, that street right there, North Avenue, is the only access to those 4 lots. I mean, legitimate access. I realize you can say beach, but that's, we all know that's a drainage ditch right now.
right, because we're terminating R, and if beach was a street, then we make him go clear through. So we kind of said beach.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt, I'm a resident of 105 North Avenue, or David will live here, I don't know exactly what you're trying to pull me to, which is fine, but we have a lot of cars that come up the property, and turning around, and I don't, is that making a through street?
Say again, which one is yours? I'm sorry.
I'm 105 North Avenue, so I'm directly.
It's just
Track 2.
right before the alley.
Right.
You know, those- There's 4
Oh,
or
I
5
got you.
houses
Okay,
before
okay.
that,
Before the,
you know.
This was brought up years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, was denied.
No, I don't want it to be a push street, it won't be a push street,
Okay, that's fine.
because I have no trespassing signs here because.
Yeah,
our
absolutely,
standard
they do
private-
that. Mhm. So what is it that you're doing?
Well, what I want to do is curb and gutter. Should I stand up here?
Sure.
Go for it.
go ahead.
So what I want to do is just. And if you look at the plat, those lots that you guys are looking at, I know they're on the plat, but. Mr. Bertong's here as well to talk about those, but I don't know that he might keep those lots that way. But my plan is to basically just. I want to curb and gutter this side only and either concrete or asphalt half of the road to where I can have access to these properties. I currently live right here. I have access to these properties on this easement here. There's another alley here. But if worse comes to worse and there's a big to do about this vacate, I'm willing to cut it down, or by cutting it down, it would just save me a little money from having to curb and gutter to a dead end area, basically. And so I just wanted to curb and gutter from here to here, out for the road, so I can have access to build a house here. And possibly here with my kids later on, but. And these lots, I'll let Mr. Birdsong. Talk about those, that's his property here. And his house is here. So I don't know if he's having an issue with that one.
Thoughts, Mr. Birdsong?
Well, I have several things to ask about, so.
Okay.
One is to go ahead and find what you want to do, so you understand that.
Yeah,
Mr. Lopez,
yeah.
on that lot, on that track 1, can you tell us what the length is right there?
Oh, this right here is 35 feet, because this is just 70, it's 230 feet total. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. How
Well-
much of it are you gonna curb?
Because,
I would curve from here all the way to right here. Right there.
So
Well,
on
they told us
the,
they had 60 feet
60.
before you get an
Right.
address.
it was 60 feet.
Well, let's do this and let's even forget about Mr. Birdsong's situation here if we can. And let's just, let me.
Curb and gutter the whole
Curb and gutter the whole section, yeah, and that way he doesn't have any dealings with it and I just do my thing here, hop over the road. Get into here and we'll be done with it, because.
Right.
But what we did with, Segovia is we wanted to concrete it.
Yeah, I
It
agree
had
with
to be
that.
concrete.
Yeah, and the reason, Vic'sville, but if we go pavement, it's gonna cave off.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll work on it.
It'd be concrete.
It'll be concrete.
It's gonna be better. It won't be a through street, and I don't know if the city provides signs, or I'll have to buy signs or something saying this, not a, it's a. I don't know, I don't know. if
I
can
think
do
that
that.
we're gonna vacate it. You're
That won't
asking
be
us to
any
vacate
better.
it. We're not
No,
gonna
no,
vacate
I'm
it.
not asking, I'm saying, suggesting, do not vacate it,
Right.
forget about that, so I don't even have to deal with Mr. Birdsong's
Right.
situation here. Just somehow allow me to just curb and gutter my side of my property only with concrete,
On your half.
yeah.
And that we
just
can, but we cannot block access because it still remains a public road,
Yeah.
Block access to.
the public.
Oh,
But we couldn't put the
Yeah,
signs
yeah,
up saying.
it's-
I'll just put my.
You just have to put a sign that says dead end or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
You can put a dead
No,
end.
I'm willing to do that, definitely, yes.
But that would mean bringing it back again, Mr. Lopez, because what you're asking on this one, we would deny.
you
So,
can
yeah.
make the changes and.
We
you
can make the
bring it.
change?
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't know if we
If
could
we
go that.
can,
far.
that'd be awesome, just to, let's just say all the way. Don't even get the Mr. Birdsong involved with his piece of property, and do you live right here? I'm sorry, I
I'm
don't,
on North Avenue, so I'm 105.
is it across right here?
It's the corner house.
Okay, there's a corner here, a corner here,
There's nothing on that.
this is
That's it.
does your husband?
And that was a drainage ditch at one time, or if you concrete it,
No,
is it gonna be
this was not a
sloped for drainage?
This was not a drainage ditch, I know that.
Beaches.
Beach, this one is,
Beaches.
this one is, yeah, not this one, not Avenue one.
Just piece, right?
It's pretty plain and level,
Yeah.
pretty much, it's not bad.
Right.
If you guys ever drive by there, take a look at it. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. piece of
But
property.
here again, we're back to the situation with fire. Where it's a
Yeah.
dead end
It's
street.
a dead end again, but.
Well, you got the access here, you got an alley here, and then I'll
It's
have
better.
circular drive here and
It's better
circular
than-
drive here.
Yeah, it's better than some.
That's what I plan to do for myself.
Okay.
But that would definitely help them to do whatever they need to do if they need to turn around or whatever. And I'm not just gonna leave it dropped off either. I mean, this is gonna be nice and level and I mean, when it rains, this Beach Street catches it all. Which I'm gonna have to shoot with these, but it doesn't bother me that much, although the street is in pretty poor shape over here because of the water. That would be great if we could just allow that halfway concrete.
Gotcha.
Don't even have to deal with Mr. Birdsong and his portion there.
I have a real good artistic rendering of my area, it'll be a whole lot easier to understand than that, but nevertheless. The main thing I'm concerned with, I could care less about the vacating down there. If you want to vacate it, give it up, that's fine. But I also want to make sure that Mr. Lopez has the right to have a gutter and come into his property however he wants to, and he's asking them to be able to come out halfway in the street.
Yeah.
It's city property, this is city street, this is a
Right.
dedicated city street.
Uh-huh.
So he could come out and halfway, or well, he could do the whole street if he wanted to, I guess, but he can do at least half of it to get him in and out, right?
Right.
Okay.
And if you have to do it, we've said in previous ones, it's concrete. It's not asphalt.
Because it's out.
If he only does half, it's gotta be concrete.
And I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I know that she has a concern that's very logical right now, that doesn't have anything with Mr. Lopez. And that's all the people that come into the ball games and coming in and circle in and they're just
Oh,
rest around there, but that's a whole different story.
Well, and a lot of them go to that post office box that's right there, and they'll tend to make a U-turn right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we play up front with our daughters and they speed down the street, sometimes they park at it, come up on that curb and broken lights, so.
Well, believe me, I have this posted no trespassing for a reason on my property as well. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can do something about that, but, our 300.
Posted or not, they're still gonna do it.
You are, you said you are,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out which house he's got.
Artistic rendering there.
Oh, okay, what is, your husband's in the military?
Yes.
Yeah,
Drive a lot of cars, sorry.
no, I know now, I mean, it's right there, yeah.
Yeah.
I am retired and retarded, but it sounds like to me, you guys need just artists to come and do nice, simple artistic renderings so they can understand these big vast.
Are you volunteering?
Yeah, there you go on
Are
your.
you volunteering, John?
But I'm not putting up any complaint about what he's asking.
Okay,
Okay,
with the changes.
And it won't be a issue, we don't want it to be, I mean.
well, I don't think the city.
It's gotta be
I think a lot
drainage.
of people do think.
It's gotta be drainage at the other end.
Well, and my grandkiddos come to lunch, so they sometimes use that road, but they come straight to my property, yeah.
Right.
Right up school.
So, yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that, is there any questions for me?
No,
And just, even if you put no trespassing signs or whatever, that's not gonna stop them from doing what they're doing.
Believe me, I already know, I've got like 3 of them out there just now, so they don't run over my trees, I got some nice little young trees and stuff.
My daughter's little Christmas photo.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, now I know who you are, yeah. That's all I've got.
okay. Any other questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go out of public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're back in regular hearing. So I will entertain a motion to approve or deny resolution PC number 2024-2025-14 with amendments.
I would like to make the motion this way. We will approve. I make the motion to approve with the exception that he would not vacate and put the curb and gutter the entire length of R for the 2 blocks
With concrete.
and half the street in concrete.
Can I make it more specific?
Yeah, go for it.
I, to add to that, I want it to be 30.01 wide, which is what's on here.
On the property line, excuse me.
Whatever you have right there, it's 30.01 wide,
Your half.
what's there. And it needs to be 230 feet, 0.05 long, okay? So we're not all off on the same
Come
thing.
back, I got you.
It has to have curb gutter and it's gotta have concrete.
Yes, ma'am.
And that will be the change.
Perfect.
And that way we'll all know what.
Yeah, I
What.
like it.
Yeah, and me too.
Let's get the numbers down,
Yep.
and the directions down.
That's it, as long as it's half of the road.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
it,
half of the road.
because my property line sits back and then we've got out the 15-foot east fence. I think the city does, and then you got another 15-foot to the center.
According to this map right
Right,
there,
that
I just took
36.
my numbers off of that. And added it, and that just means you're gonna go all the way up to the top. And you're gonna curb and gutter your side, it's gonna be concrete. And so,
Perfect.
So we have a,
I second the motion.
there you go.
we a motion and a second with the amendments. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Christensen,
Yes.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
Yes,
Mr. Walken,
Yes.
Ms. Vaca,
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
And I will just say for the record, I hope we never get into these situations.
Okay.
With developers.
We will.
well,
Oh, with
yeah, don't
development.
hold your breath.
Yeah.
Let's try to handle the developer.
Have roads issue, and that's true. But anyway,
Thank you.
So-
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys. I appreciate it.
thank you
And,
for coming.
for once in so many times, my birthday today, so.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Okay, we have one more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
It's an easy one.
Okay, so item F, public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-15. A resolution providing for a zone change from R1 zone to an RA zone at the addresses of 1500, 1700, and 1320 North Boston Avenue. submitted by the Roosevelt County Board of Commissioners. I'll entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion, Quinn a second.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are in public hearing, Ms. McClellan.
Thank you. And Johnny Montiel is here to speak on behalf. If you guys got any specific questions? So what we're looking at, is they want to try to just change this from an R1 to an R8 to have chickens. This up here, this corner right here, where mouth control is already a little agricultural. So it's not spot zoning, it's right up against another RA zone. I'll leave Johnny talk more specifics about the program. But they would care for some chickens and the eggs, of course, would be used. We gave them the option of waiting to see if a new ordinance came out that allowed chickens. So they wouldn't have to zone change or zone change. They're moving forward the zone change because they can also add goats or something like that far down the line. It leaves them a bit open. They didn't really have any plans for it. It just gives them a little bit more control. Ms. Chris, you go to the next one. This one, again, we sent out letters. We received 4 from property owners, 4 from utilities, and 0 against. I believe that's it. If you have any questions. If you
I
could
have
answer them.
one question. How in the world was a jail built on an R1 to begin with?
I have no idea. My assumption was,
Somebody explain that to me.
yeah, I don't know if it was annexed in, because then they get annexed in as R1s and never zone changed, or just built on R1.
Should have been changed. Here's
That's insane to me that a jail's sitting on an R1 to begin with, but. That's my only question. I just didn't know how that occurred. Trying to educate.
Any questions, comments?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Living in the city, it's a benefit living in the city to not have livestock right outside the back of your door.
Right.
Okay. And I think whenever we start accepting all these code changes, we might as well just call the city the county. Because you're going in there and you're not preserving what the city folk are the reason why they're here. And I think us as a council, we need to preserve what a city is. And I'm sorry, but the fairgrounds are just right there. The fair goes on for a week and it stinks to high heaven. Now, later on, they're wanting to put goats. Who's to say that they don't want swine and everything else like that? What about our neighbors and that live near that area? We've got to start preserving the city and having it what the city folk are living in the city for. And then this stuff like this needs to go out in the county. That's what the county's for. That's all I have to say.
I think there is a pig ordinance. You can't be within 3 miles of the city.
I believe there's a state ordinance.
Yes, yeah. So,
Well,
but that doesn't take care of your sheep and your goats.
Yeah, we still allow quite a bit
And
of
with the
livestock.
RA, the animal control still has.
okay, so let me put it to you this way. I'd like to know, do they get their water from the city?
Mm.
Yes, so, okay, so we're already having water issues in the city. So that now we're gonna go and water, feed cattle. Well, guess what? They have waste. So where are we gonna go and take that waste? Put them in our bins? We don't have enough bins for the city trash already. We're asking the city to overtax itself. To me.
If that's the case, then this needs to go to Public Works first. Just for the water use.
If that's your recommendation, we can definitely take it.
Because right now they're just laying chickens. But if we do this like it is, what she's saying,
Correct.
I don't know if we're taking it to agriculture, then she's right. We can do cattle. The swine's probably another thing, but how many head of cattle? How many horses? Are we going to do equine therapy out there with the guys and the gals that are in jail? We could do equine therapy and that's gonna cause some problems. Okay. I mean, let me play the devil advocate. Let me play the devil advocate. Yeah.
So, the theory behind all this program is important right now is the chickens. And so they're wanting to create this program where they go out there and work with the chickens and interact with them and work with them. And so it's more of the therapy side of it. And so it's a good program. And so they just needed the permission to be able to put chicken coop. Now, as far as the goats, cattle, pigs, like I know there's an ordinance and we can't have pigs within distance between city or a municipality, because of state statute, that would never happen. Statute. As far as cows go, this program right now is designed just for the chickens, and that's what we're talking about, is just the chickens. But I understand by changing it to an agriculture, then it kind of opens the gate just a little bit, but, you can also do something similar to some kind of restriction covenants. You know, if you only have this, or you can have 1 cow, 2 cows, or something like that.
And I assume by ordinance, even if it's a city rural agriculture, then there are restrictions already on that
They're based on the size of the land.
and more restrictions. And, you know, and this is just my thought. I think the city a lot of times brought that property in for tax base. And they never planned to do anything with it. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying, I think that has been done in the past.
I understand, and we can sit up here and say, well, you know, maybe later on they won't do it or they will do it, but let me tell you, where I live, my neighbor had pigs. If there's an ordinance with swine, why was it never taken care of? My thing is that we can't even get the code enforcer to go and enforce the codes now. So why even open a door that we can't shut?
I kind of agree with you. I would almost like to see you come back and say, okay, no, we don't want to change it from an R1, which I'm like you, why isn't that? And to a rural agriculture, because that does open the door. Maybe you come back and say, okay, here's what we'd like to do. We want 10 chickens. We want 10 hens, 1 rooster. Can we have that? Then, you know, heaven forbid, if you get somebody that does equine therapy, I don't know. You come back and you say, okay, we've found somebody with a horse and we can do that. Because I know they do that with military and PSTD people all the time, equine therapy. I know that works. So I am all into trying to do therapy to help these people get their lives back straight. And I see what you're trying to do and I commend you for that. I think she's probably right that this is gonna open the door and it too wide. But I'd like to maybe see them come back and say, can we get a request right now? We want a chicken coop with X amount of chickens and 1 rooster or whatever.
So fortunately for that,
So you're wanting some type of limitation being, but we don't know what program or what other program they will get into or what the future is gonna like. So you're saying that maybe if they get into a program where it involves an animal, it's saying if it's gonna be a cow, only so many cows. If it's gonna be a horse, so many horses and so many chickens.
And right now at this point, I don't want to do that. I want you to come back to me or whoever else is up here and say, okay, we've now got somebody that can do equine therapy. Can we get permission to do that? But right now, your request right now is just for chickens. Is what
Yeah,
you're thinking.
well, basically, it was just not just for the chicken, but it was just changing it from a residential to a agriculture, but a regular agriculture / commercial or something like that, but it's more agriculture, but.
And then at some point, maybe a garden or,
Yeah.
Yes.
garden and stuff.
Right, and I don't have a problem with gardens, you know, but
but like you said, with water restrictions and we're using, then it needs to go to Public Works before it comes to here.
And then for,
just on that.
our livestock ordinance is actually written very specific where they can't get variances.
Right.
For livestock. So unless, as of now, he can't stay as an R1 and have chickens, they specifically wrote it, so
well,
council.
what do they need to be? Because they shouldn't be an R1.
Right.
To have chickens, they have to be,
Jail be, forget the chicken.
Yeah, forget the chickens.
What should a jail be?
and the jail could remain in R1, it would just have to have a special use permit.
Well, no, forget that. What zone, if you were gonna zone a jail, what would you zone?
I'd almost make that a manufacturing zone. But yeah, so the only,
Industrial, it'd have to be
So they
manufactured.
treated this just like a church. A church has a special use permit in
That's it.
R1.
for property, like for buildings that don't have a specific zone, special use permits cover those. A lot of government buildings are covered under special use permits.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that's what this is.
Yeah, but yeah, for him to have chickens under our current ordinance, he has to be in a rural agricultural. There's no variance that P and Z or city council can give to allow him to have chickens without that zone change. However, we are still working on the animal control ordinance, they're bringing to council to see if they'll allow chickens. So that's still up to city council to approve or deny.
Also, those people that live on that street also know that fairgrounds is there. And they should know and expect some kind of issues with
But
that.
that's the fair.
And
That's
this will be
how much time per year?
And that's kind of a buffer. between-
Well,
This right
it's more than
here-
you think because it's used all the time.
Well, I know, but it's not as bad as if you have something there continually,
Yeah. because-
continually.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, almost continually, they have something out there with
I live
horses.
right there. I know I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, so there's horses, there's all kinds of things that go out there on that pavilion, you know.
Right.
It's not packed like it is at the fair. But to try to get that rented sometimes it's pretty busy.
And if I may, and also it is gonna be kept up. There's not gonna be anything lingering, it's gonna be kept up, it's gonna be clean, it's gonna be. So as far as the smell or anything like that, there shouldn't be an issue with that.
Where's
Won't
it
be
being
an issue.
disposed at?
Mhm.
In the dumpsters? Is it gonna be disposed in the dumpsters, the city dumpsters?
Well, some of that stuff you cannot dump it into the dumpsters
Legally.
legally, yeah.
Composting.
Yeah,
Compost.
So again, that won't be,
So we're gonna have compost piles out there?
that I'll have to look into, but yeah. But again, everything will be followed.
And compost piles should not smell, I mean, because I have horses that I live right by my front yard. And I have compost piles. If it's done, you don't smell compost.
Yeah, everything's gonna be done the correct way.
Now, I'm sorry about your pigs, you should have turned the pig people in.
Oh, we did.
You know,
We did, but by the time that, it's sad because that we have somebody who's hired to go around and make sure that everything is up to par. But whenever you get over 50 animals in one little lot and the neighbors are having to call, it's ridiculous. And that's why I'm saying, if the code enforcer cannot do the job now, what are we thinking is gonna happen later?
it's part of our problems with our city and our management over the past few years. And that is in the works of being changed.
And yeah,
Okay,
10, 15.
no, that is-
What was that time frame, Mr. Watkins?
okay. No further discussion. I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing. I'll make that.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to go out of public hearing. All those approved say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're back in regular session. I will entertain a motion to either approve or deny PC number 2024-2025-15, a resolution providing for a zone change from R1 to RA.
I make a motion to deny.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to deny. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Christensen,
No.
Mr. Rackler,
Yes.
Mr. James,
No.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Ms. Bennett,
No.
Ms. Baca.
Yes.
Perfect tie.
I don't know how to proceed.
I don't even.
Cause I've been here, we've never had a tie.
Well, I don't know. In previous, and it's been different since here lately. Previously, we never did have the chairman vote unless there was a tie.
Oh,
So if, and a chairman never voted, when I was here or when the previous one was, he only voted in case of a tie. And if that's the case, then that's what I would go back. Chairman only votes in case of a tie. So if you take his vote out, what do you have?
Would you
It would,
I voted against it,
against the denial or
against it.
then the denial stands?
So the denial, so we deny it. That's how I would get around it. And from here on out, I would probably not let the chairman vote unless we were into a tie.
I think if that's how Matt, I think he gets to set how they do it. So Matt, if that's how I'd like to do it, we can move forward with you not voting.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I know in previous years, that's how we did it.
Yeah, but Wayne did vote. Right?
only in a time.
Okay.
But that, moving forward, we will not have Mr. Christensen vote. Unless it's a tiebreaker.
But he already voted.
But wait till you vote out.
They took it.
Or at
I
least
would prefer to
come
bring
back.
it back at the next meeting and then vote on it, because I don't like taking a vote out that's already.
Would you like me to call the city attorney and get some direction?
Good luck, yeah.
Yeah, do that.
How many chickens are you looking at? And you're using city water, and that, to me, that needs to go before the public works. And let us know how many chickens are,
They're not gonna use very much.
water's water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost want to say, I'm not 100%, but I want to say we're also on the well.
That's what I was.
That's what I'm thinking, we're also on the well.
If it's on a well, it's irrelevant.
That's how they can store it, so they've done hard. It's okay. to Take that one out and proceed with how to vote. Okay, thank you, sir. Bye. Okay, Ms. Bennett is correct. The chairman is not supposed to vote unless there is a tie. The attorney did advise to take that vote out and proceed out of vote. So,
Mr. Dial stands.
and I didn't give him any information on how y'all voted.
Okay, okay.
What we were voting on.
Procedural.
Okay,
So it's denied. I mean, if you want to come back with more information from Public Works, and if you've got a well and make your case again, there's nothing that stops him from doing that again, right?
Technically, you'd have to probably go through the appeal process unless one of you requests it comes back. So he can't apply for 6 more months unless one of you requests it come back before the 6 months. So yeah, if one of you requests it, you can come back before then.
I will request him to come back after going before Public Works. And let us know if you're on a well and give us some more information.
Yes, ma'am.
It's been denied, because like I said, I'm all for rehabilitation and if they can do that, but he's right because of the water situation.
How
We
many,
need to know if you're on a well, how are we gonna do that? Chickens don't make that much of a mess.
how many chickens, how much water did chickens take?
Yes, sir, we'll get you through numbers and everything.
The compost issue or whatever.
as much as a prisoner.
They don't stink.
Okay. Any other business? Ms. McClellan?
Nothing from staff.
I have one request, and this is up to the group. But our city council meetings and most of the other meetings begin with a prayer, and I would like to have an invocation at the beginning.
Do we need to vote on that?
I think it's just.
Or do we need to
No,
vote
I-
at it next time? I mean, just what do we need to do?
I think that's fine.
What's your vote?
I would like to make a comment on the minutes. I would just like to say, good job. It was just said once about the minutes before, and the minutes have been typed up perfectly. Good job.
Good job, Tammy.
Thank you.
Anything else? Questions, comments? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned.